Hello, my name's Stephen Volk. I'm an author and a screenwriter. I created Ghostwatch in 1992, and it's recently been the 30th anniversary of that. And I'm at the Festival of Fantastic Films in Manchester, 2023. And I'm doing this podcast just for you. Question 1. I'm putting my hand in the skull. And it reads as follows. What's your worst habit? Bloody hell. Probably snacking, I should think. My worst habit used to be biting my fingernails, but I've actually given that up in the last year, and now my fingernails are long and claw-like, which I'm quite proud of. So yeah, it's got to be the second on the list, which is snacking, which I'm trying to give up because I've been diagnosed as pre-diabetic, so I've got to knock the snacking on the head. So we're on to question 2, which hopefully will be a bit more interesting. Here we go. What would be your karaoke song of choice? Okay. I don't know the words for it, so it would have to come up in a caption, but I think it probably would be Chocolate Jesus by Tom Waits. Question 3 is as follows. Who or what has most influenced your work? Oh, bloody hell. Have we got long enough for this? So it's got to be one thing, hasn't it? Who or what has most influenced your work? Let me think. Probably, I have to think of an early influence. So I would probably say Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine. I used to get my pocket money on a Friday, and I used to go down to a newsagent called Gould's, Goulds, in Pontypridd, and I used to spend my money, first of all, on comics. So it would be a Spider-Man comic or a Marvel comic, and then as I got a little bit older, and I would see these covers of Famous Monsters of Filmland edited by Forrest J. Ackerman, and I'd just see the imagery in these magazines. And I think long before I saw those films from the classic Universal Monsters era, they weren't kind of available to watch, not when you were kind of 10 or 12, but just the imagery that was in this magazine just got my imagination fired up and got me interested in kind of spooky stuff and monsters, and then led to me reading ghost stories, and everything else kind of like spidered out from that influence, I think, really. Okay, this is question number 4. We're getting through these very quickly, I'm glad to say. Have you seen a ghost or had another paranormal experience? Where, when, and what was it? Okay, I've got 2 recollections here. One is when I visited the set of Afterlife, which was a paranormal drama that I wrote, and I visited the set in Bristol at one point. And they were filming a scene, and I took a wander into another part of the set, which was deserted. Which was Alison, the character I've invented. She was a spirit medium, and it was her bedroom. And I was wandering around this part of the set, which was, as I say, was deserted apart from me. And I did see a figure out of the corner of my eye. And I thought quite objectively, this is quite curious to actually have written a series about a spirit medium and then to actually see a ghost for the first time. But in all honesty, I think I was just tired, and it was one of those figments of the imagination that wasn't an actual figure, because when I looked around the corner of the set, it was gone. But the other supernatural experience I had in the house was my wife and I used to find spoons in our bedroom. And we couldn't work out why the spoons got to our bedroom from downstairs in the kitchen, because we never took drinks to the top floor. We never took anything to eat to the top floor, and we kept getting spoons. So what the hell was going on? And what we discovered was, in the end, was we used to put out cat food, and the cat has got a magnet attached to its collar, and the spoon would get attached to the magnet. The cat would go upstairs. Hence, the spoon would reach the bedroom. So that's my rational explanation for what was going on, which I thought was quite telling, really. And I think my final podcast question now. Thank you for listening, by the way. Who is your best friend? Well, one of my best friends is a man called Stan Hay, who is a TV writer who he created a TV show called The Manageress, which is one of the first dramas that was done on Channel 4, and he wrote for shows like Ovita St. Pet, and he wrote comedy shows for the likes of Lenny Henry, and he wrote a show called Agony, about an agony column. And I've known him ever since I lived in the town, Bradford-on-Avon, and because we actually have the same agent, but we also kind of work in the same world of television and film and that kind of thing. So we tend to get together once or twice a week to shoot the breeze and have a general bitching session about what's going on in our lives and that kind of thing. So it's nice. You get very isolated as a writer, and just to have someone on hand who does the same thing as you, and you can sit down and just have a general gripe about how the world is treating you is a bit of a godsend. So yes, one of my best friends certainly is Stan. Thank you very much.